Alright, good afternoon. My name is Sheila, and I'm starting to do some tutorials on my 4th of July album. A couple of people asked me if I could show them how I did this album. And this is actually my second attempt at this first video because I was working on it this morning, and then when I realized too late, when I already had the page all assembled, that my batteries had died in my camera. So this is my second attempt. So we're going to be working on today, I'm going to show you how I did the hinge system, the double hinge, because all the pages, they lie flatter with this system. And I'm going to show you the first page in the book. The first page in this book, I have to give credit to the Scrap Queen. You can find her on YouTube or on Facebook. And a couple of the pages, ideas, I got from her, so I want to make sure I mention her because I don't want to cause any problems with anybody. I don't want to be accused of stealing other people's ideas. I did use a couple of her page assemblies, but a lot of this book, I just came up with it myself. So with that said, I'm going to put this aside, and we'll start off with the hinge. Now for this book, I used this piece of paper that measures 5 by 10.5 inches. And this is how I scored it at a 1/4 inch, and then I score a 1/2 inch, and then I move over another 1/2 inch and score. So this becomes the double hinge, because a lot of the hinges are 1/4 of an inch. These are 1/2 inch hinges. This dotted line, or you could use a straight line, I put there so that when you attach your page to the hinge, you make sure you don't go all the way down to the gusset, because if you do that, it's gonna not work well. So you're gonna glue your pages up to this line. That way the pages lie flatter. If you have any trouble understanding exactly what I mean, I can try to make a better diagram for this, and I can somehow send it to you in your email or whichever you prefer. So for this book, there's 4 pages, so you're going to need 4 hinges. So I do a 1/4 inch, do a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch gusset, then 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and so on. So you end up with 4 double size hinges. Okay, so that's how that's done. For the page, for the first page, I don't know how you go about setting up pages or coming up with ideas. Some people might sketch it in a book. I find myself it's easy to use either scrap paper, and you can design your page before you even do the actual page, or do it on graph paper. And you know, you just do your ideas and glue it or tape it, whichever way you want to do it. So I was following along the video, and as she was explaining how she did her page, I was just following along, taking notes, and then I would attach the scrap paper to the pages, so later on when I went to do it, it would help me remember how the page was to be set up. Alright, so in this album there's 4 pages, like I said, and you take a regular size 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You're going to score it at one end at a 1/4 inch and fold that over, and then you're going to fold the other end up to there to meet, and then you're going to glue it together. And that's your page, your pocket pages, and you're going to need 4 of these. After that, I should mention that when we're working on a page, we're not going to actually work on the pocket pages. we're going to work on a separate page. We're going to assemble our pockets and flaps on this page, and then when we're finished, then we're going to glue it to the pocket page in the book. This gives better stability to your pages, makes it a little bit thicker, so it's not going to fall apart. And that idea also came from the Scrap Queen. So here we go. We're going to start with our first page, and as I said before, I did a video this morning and I already finished this page and realized the camera wasn't working. So the first part of the page we're going to be working on is on your left side. We're going to do this page, this flap here, which has 2 pockets, and there's also a magnet here because this closes and there's a magnet, so you have to remember to put a magnet there. Alright, and the paper that I chose for this album is called Garden Party, and it's from the Craftsmith, and I got this at Michael's, and as you can see, really pretty paper. And I lucked out that night when I went, because when I went they had 70% off those pads, so they were like $5.99 a pad, and I walked out with 4 of them. Alright, so let's see, I want to alright, I already attached one side, but we'll talk about that later. Right now we're going to attach this side. I don't want to lose any of these pieces. Okay, so this side flap measures 8 by, I should flip it over, measures 8 by 5¼ inches, and we're gonna score a quarter on one side. We're gonna fold that down, and I'm gonna attach it to that page. I've been using glue a lot more, especially because of the humidity in the air. Just the score, I don't have score tape. I use the glider tape. I don't know if the score tape is better, but I noticed the glider tape doesn't hold that well when it's really humid. I mean, the air conditioner is on, but I don't want my book to fall apart. Alright, so make sure that's down good. Alright, so on this side there's a little pocket, and you can measure out, there's actually 2 pockets on this page, so you can measure out how big you want your pockets. It's all up to you. Okay, so for me, I'm using a pocket. It's gonna the paper is 3 by 3, and you're gonna score it on each side 1/4 inch. If you do use score tape or the glider tape, be sure that you never use it at the bottom of the pocket. That's another tip I learned from the Scrap Queen, because once this won't dry up, I guess, and you put tags in, they might get caught at the bottom, and you don't want that happening. Going to turn this around a moment just to line this up. I know it's probably kind of hard to see because of the black paper, And then this pocket, like I said, you can measure it out how big you want the pocket. And I measured mine 4 by 5 3/4, and then did the scoring on either end. Here I just used an oval and I cut it out by hand, but if you have a Cricut and you want to take the time to use your Cricut and cut it out, it makes it look a lot better. Or if you have an embossing machine that you can cut the paper out on. So now I'm just going to lie this one down. Make it even on either side. That looks good. Okay. That's that side. Alright. So I think I'm going to decorate it now before I forget. This little piece I cut, it's going to fit down inside. Just like that. I don't know how the weather's been where you are, but I live in North Carolina now. And it's been, since July's rolled around, it's been in the 90s just about every day. So it's been really hot outside and humid. So I haven't really spent too much time outside. But I love it. I come from Massachusetts, so I'd rather have the warm weather anytime. I'm just going to trim just a little bit on here. This down right here. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. And then I have this little piece, actually I think it's this one that goes here. Glue that down. I just started getting into these mini albums, and now lately that's mostly what I've been doing. I've been doing crafts for over 30 years. When my first child was born, I was home and I needed to find something to keep me busy, and I started getting into crafts. So I've tried sewing, crocheting, all kinds of things, and I'm always looking for new things to try, and lately it's been these albums. Okay, so in here I did cut this for the pocket. So this is gonna fit in there, I hope. Maybe I have to trim it just down a little bit. Yes. I'm gonna have to trim that off just a little bit. I'll do that right now, real quick. Fit in there now? Yep. Alright. Alrighty. even. Alright. So that gets in there. Like that. I'm not going to do this tag right now. Okay, so I want to put a strip of paper here, but before I do that, there's a magnet on this side that I have to lay first, because I don't want to forget to put that in. So I bought these tiny magnets on eBay. I mean, they're really tiny and thin, but they're real strong. I was very surprised. I'll lay that down and temporarily place a piece of tape on there. And to make sure I put it in the right spot, and I'm using dark paper, I actually take a little white gel pen and I put it on, make a little circle on top, and I fold it down, push on it, and then voila, that's where, wow, is that cutting it close? That's where the magnet's gonna go on the other side. Just like that. So, that's really close. I didn't realize. You know what? I might even move this just a little bit, because that is kind of close. Might move it up. Hopefully that's not going to show. Trim that tape down. I guess I'm going to have to trim that down too. I really don't want the tape to be showing. So, see if I can get a small piece of tape just to hold it down. Yeah. And then do that again. Sometimes you have to do by trial and error. So that's even over just a bit. So put that there, get a piece of tape. Alright, so tape that down. Is that right? For some reason it doesn't look, I think it's like now magnet's gotta be a certain way. I think I had it on the opposite direction so it wasn't connecting right. Alright. There, you hear that? It's really strong. Alright, so cover this magnet, I want to put a piece of paper here. So I already know that this is 5 1/4, and this is like an inch. So 3/4 of an inch by 5. And let's see. Let's see if this will do it. Okay. Put some glue on that. You could use a strip of paper, or you could use washi tape. Some of my albums I use washi tape. Oops. No, this is not perfect, but this is just a practice 1 and 1. Alright, so now we're going to assemble this side. Okay, so for that, this side has two little flaps here and one on this side here. And I like to round off the corners. So I'm going to do that before I attach these. And this is 3 by 3 inch, and then on one side you're going to score it at 1/4 of an inch. Do both. Okay, so we're going to attach it to the side, on the side. On my other page that I created for this video, I was a little off on one of the sides. I didn't line it up exact, and it was a little off, but so now this one I'm going to make sure I get it hopefully right on. Oops. Alright, try to. Yeah, that looks about even to me. Yeah, looks about right. Alright, so now these flaps, they have magnets, so we got to attach magnets for that. And what did I do with my magnets? They're so small, they can roll away anywhere. Okay, magnet. Ah, here they are. Put that right there. So, I'm going to put a little score tape, or just a little tape there. Yeah. Now put some other tape. And now let's do this side. To make sure. Yeah, that's that one. Okay. Alrighty, so that's that. So now we can decorate this page. I already cut the pieces for this, so I'm going to glue this down. looks good. Okay, I'm going to do this side. Make sure you cover those magnets. Okay, so that's that side. Alright, so now these little flaps. Do the inside first. So actually I think I'm going to put these ones on the outside. I want to round off the corners. It looks pretty good. Now glue the pieces on the inside, round off the corners. Make sure that is right side. So, oops, I got some glue over here. So, nice. Alright, so now, last but not least, there's a pocket page here. Now again, you could put 2 pockets here if you'd like, or one big one, or you could leave it blank, whichever you prefer. The pocket size I chose is 7 by 4 3/4, and you're gonna score on either side. Alright, so yesterday I was working on this video for the first page of the album, and when I was done, when I was almost done, I heard the camera make a noise, and I realized when I was doing this last piece, the camera shut off for whatever reason. I guess I'm not having much luck with these videos. So I'm just doing this part, and then hopefully I can merge the 2 videos together. So when you close, oops. When you close this album, that's what it looks like. So we're doing this piece here, and I don't know why that's sticking up there. I have to fix that later. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so there's a pocket page on the back page. You can do 2 pockets if you like. You could do a belly band, whichever you prefer. But for this, I'm just gonna put one big pocket, just like that. So I'm gonna glue this down. I'm just learning to do these videos, so I guess, you know, when you first start, you have to tweak them or whatever. But I did one whole video a couple days ago and realized the battery died in the camera, and so I had to start all over. And then yesterday, on this last part, the camera cut out. So I'm just trying to finish up this last little bit. Okay, that looks good. And then I'll just put this page here. I guess if you're interested in the exact measurements, I can come up with something, but I'm not going to put too much work into it or effort if no one's really interested in knowing the exact measurements. But maybe I can do a PDF which I can put on my Facebook page or something. I don't know. That's something in the future. Right now I'm just learning how to do this stuff. So back here I'm just going to add this little piece just to give it a better, a more cleaner look. Alright, make sure it's quite even. Okay, so that's that. And then of course you put a tag, which I already made, and that slides in. So that's the first page. So that's the first page, and check back and I should have the second page done in a day or so. Have a good day.